What's up everyone, OJ here, and welcome back to my coverage of Fire Emblem Three Houses. In this series of videos, we are going to be covering everything that has to do with Fire Emblem Three Houses, from the characters, story, plot, and whatever else comes from the official Japanese account. Now, we are going to talk about some of the previous main characters that I have not covered yet in depth, because once again, now that we're getting information pretty much every single day or every other day, I do want to start ramping up the coverage here. And for those who are new to the Fire Emblem series, or this might be their first one, this is a perfect place to learn about the characters and get some background on what makes Fire Emblem Three Houses and what makes the Fire Emblem franchise so great. So let's start off with this brand new character reveal, and that is Hubert from the Japanese Twitter account. So Hubert is voiced by Katsuki Koninishi and is a member of the Black Eagles. So that is Edelgard's crew, which we will talk about in just a bit. The strategist of the house, he is the son of influential Marquis and has served Edelgard since childhood. He will do whatever it takes to help her. According to Edelgard, Hubert may come across as a bit cold, but he is actually reliable. And you guys are seeing a brief clip or have seen one already, so Hubert definitely looks like a guy that can backstab you. He looks like that type of guy, and yeah, he has that nefarious look to him, but I like that. I like that they have these different styles of characters in here, and yes, you can easily tell that he's a cold looking character. Obviously, you have the hair covering up one eye, you have the shadow around the eye, you have the little dent by the side of his ear. Everything just screams like, yo, you gotta watch out for this guy, or he has a personality that might be more than what meets the eye. So definitely have to keep our eye out for Hubert here and maybe what's going to be going down. Some people have talked about him potentially being a traitor or something like that, but he served Edelgard since they were children, so maybe that's not going to happen. But once again, this is what makes Fire Emblem so great. You have these different characters kind of put into these situations here, and they all kind of come together. You never know what's really going to happen, or who is going to betray who, or what's going to happen next in the plot. So I'm excited to see more about this Hubert character, kind of what they do going forward. Now let's talk a little bit more about some of the main characters in Fire Emblem Three Houses, and once again we're going to bring up Edelgard, who Hubert serves as in the Black Eagles. So let's talk about Edelgard here. So Edelgard is the future heir of the Adresian Empire. She leads the Black Eagles House of Garrick Mark Monastery. In the Japanese version, she is voiced by Ai Kikuma. Now, the Twitter account also shared a brief clip of her, so you guys are seeing that as well. And a lot of people are already saying, this is the waifu. This is the person that I am going to pick on my first playthrough. And just to let you guys know, for those who don't know, I'm going to be doing 3 playthroughs of this, which I can detail a little bit more at the end here. Now, I want to talk about Edelgard just a bit. I think she's really cool because she has a huge axe. I mean, that's just right there. There's a huge axe. You can see it right there. I love her design. The red leggings with the red cape, the black. She just has a really cool design to her. And I think that she's going to be an interesting character to kind of conversate with and kind of see how her path goes and what's going down with her. So cool stuff with Edelgard there, but we do have a couple more characters to detail in this video. And next is Dimitri, which is the blue guy here. So Dimitri is not only a future king, but is also the leader of the Blue Lions, Prince of the Holy Kingdom of Vargas. He's a sincere man who is the embodiment of chivalry. That being said, he carries a little bit of darkness hidden behind his smiles. So he's one of those guys that, yeah, he's gonna go out there and give you the appearance of everything, you know, honor and stuff like that, but there's something that's in him. There's something that's happened before, maybe that he did wrong, or maybe that he feels guilty about, that maybe we'll learn about more in the future of the game, or maybe we'll learn about as the game progresses if you play his path. And that's what I want to see. I want to see with these different paths, not necessarily a whole new campaign on each one, because it's not going to be that, but I want to see little details that you didn't get when you played through, when you pick one person like the Black Eagles compared to the Blue Lions that Dimitri has. So that's going to be interesting to see how his path plays out as well, and if we find out what's going on with him. Now, last but definitely not least, and a lot of people are calling their pick for their first one, is Claude. And Claude has a great design to him. First of all, I love his hair. I think his hair and the outfit is just on spot. So let's talk a little bit about Claude. So Claude is the son of a noble family that leads the Leicester Alliance and is the leader of the Golden Deer House. He's carefree and easy to get along with, but his smile seems to hide a deep insight and inquisitiveness. His Japanese voice actor is Toshiyuki Toyonaga. So there's also Claude as well, and I think Claude is probably the most of like my personality, kind of a little bit of carefree, can kind of get along with anybody, and that's why I said, you know what, I'm probably gonna pick Claude on the first playthrough, just because I think he looks really cool. I think his character design is awesome. I like his hair, I like his clothes, I like the golden deer. That just sounds a lot better. Blue lion sounds cool, black eagle sounds cool, but the golden deer, I mean, yo, that's pretty cool. A golden deer rolling around here. So, and I like how they're each tuned with like the colors, right? You have the gold, you have the blue, you have the red, everything kind of falls in line. So I think that Fire Emblem Three Houses, especially with these new character introductions here, what they want to do is they want to set it up for the new players, which they've done this before, but not quite in this way. So I really love what they're doing here and kind of setting up these brief clips, kind of hearing a little bit of the characters so you can kind of know how each of these characters are before you get into it. Because if you looked at like Fire Emblem Fates, oh my gosh, there were so many characters spread across both of the games with all the brothers and sisters and everything, and it was kind of hard to keep track with everything going on here, where it seems like this one, they really have those three main characters with Dimitri, with Claude, and with Edelgard, and they really want you to know about those characters. And then some of the side characters, okay, those are going to be important once you get into the game, but they really want to make sure that you know about the main characters here and what path you're going to be taking. Now, I do want to answer a couple different questions here, because I get these a lot on like PE Live when it comes to Fire Emblem. So the biggest thing with this game here, guys, is that no, you don't have to have played like all the other Fire Emblem games or know Marth's birthday and kind of know everything about Fire Emblem games in order to play Fire Emblem Three Houses. You guys can hop into this game. This can be your first one, and you can have a lot of fun and not be lost with the story or anything like that. Now, here's the thing. If you've played previous Fire Emblem games, obviously things are going to come a little bit quicker to you, right? You have the weapon triangle, you have some of the stuff that you can do with leveling, equipment. There's going to be some similarities across the board. So people who have played previous Fire Emblems, especially the newer ones like Fire Emblem Awakening or Fire Emblem Fates, those people are going to have a little bit more of a leg up when it comes to it. But at the same time, it's still going to be a game to where you can just pretty much play. It's like a Final Fantasy game, right? If you play Final Fantasy 6, that doesn't mean that you have to have played Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 in order to enjoy 6. Same thing with like Final Fantasy 13 or Final Fantasy 12. You don't have to play Final Fantasy 12 to enjoy Final Fantasy 13. You're just probably not going to enjoy Final Fantasy 13. No, I'm joking with that one here, guys. But that's basically what Fire Emblem is about, guys. That's why they bring out new characters. They don't number it like Fire Emblem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not like that. It's just Fire Emblem Three Houses, completely new story, different type of tone for everything that they're doing here, and they've changed up a lot of the mechanics with the game. I think that they're going to make it a lot more user-friendly and everything. Now, the one thing that some people don't know about Fire Emblem 2 is kind of like exactly how does everything play out, because a lot of people have only played one of them, don't really remember, or just haven't played it at all. So Fire Emblem strategy RPG, guys, strategy RPG, to where you move on a map, and basically on that map there's various different terrain that can give you advantages or disadvantages in battle. It's turn-based, so you move your character based on what weapon that character has. You're going to be able to attack at a certain range or up close, and you have to be right next to them. There's usually the squares there. You can attack adjacent to them, right in front of them, or behind them. If you're behind them, that does increase your chance for sometimes getting critical hits and other things like that, but you can use the terrain in order to aid you in battle. So if you're in forest, or if you're in like a fort or like a rocky area, that could give you more defense against someone else that isn't in that same terrain. So that's what I love about Fire Emblem. There's a lot of strategy that really plays a part into it. Claude, for example, has a bow and arrow. When you have a bow and arrow, you can attack from further away than somebody with like a axe, for example, like Edelgard, or a sword like Dimitri. So it all just kind of ties into it, guys. There's more weapons too. I know Fire Emblem Fates had all sorts of like ninja stars and stuff like that to where you can throw and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see all the different types of weapons and kind of what they put into this one. But Fire Emblem is one of those games to where like when you see it, it doesn't look too impressive, right, when you look at the game. But then once you actually get into it and kind of get more into the flow of the combat and everything that it offers, from weapons to leveling, magic, all of that, which magic is awesome in Fire Emblem, by the way. It's so cool to have a magic user in Fire Emblem. Once you get into all of that and some of the support roles and stuff that you can do as well, that's when Fire Emblem gets so fun. And that's why I stress to you guys, make sure you guys keep your eye on this game. If you're not somebody who's been keeping up with Fire Emblem games or have played Fire Emblem games in the past, I think this is going to be the Fire Emblem game for you. There is like the hardcore modes with Fire Emblem, right? When you look at like Fire Emblem, the old school ones, those ones, whenever your characters die, like they're dead. Like you don't get them back unless you restart the chapter, then you have to replay. And this game has the same option. However, it's just an option, right? You can have the hardcore mode, classic, but then you can also have it to where if your characters do fall in battle, they'll just kind of like run away and retreat, and then they'll be back at the end of the chapter. So you do have that, and you can play it both ways there. A lot of people were maybe, I guess, intimidated by Fire Emblem when they heard that, wait a minute, when your character dies, they're done for good. But there are still people who love to play it that way, which I will be playing that. I do want to let you guys know, which I'll probably talk about every single time because I get this question all the time. I will be playing all 3 paths, and you guys will see most of it or some of it on the channel here, depending on which day. But yeah, I'll be streaming it. I'll have a let's play of it, and I'll also have a classic hardcore run of it once we hit a certain goal as well. So you guys will see all 3 paths. You guys are definitely going to get a review, or you guys are going to get a should you buy. Obviously, I'm thinking that you guys should get the game. So there is going to be plenty of content on Fire Emblem Three Houses and a lot of stuff to go over once the game does launch. But July 26th, that is the official release date for this game. And as we go on in days here, I will be compiling a lot of the information that's already been revealed and also new information, because they talk about new stuff all the time, and putting those into videos for you guys and just talking about Fire Emblem, just because I love talking about the franchise. It's one of the pillar franchises that I do have here on the channel when it comes to content: Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, and also Super Smash Brothers. So you guys are going to get a lot of cool Fire Emblem content leading up into release, and maybe even some other stuff as well. So look forward to that. So what do you guys think about all the different Fire Emblem news here from Claude, Dimitri, and Edelgard, also Hubert and kind of his look that he has to him, and what path are you guys going to start out with first? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We have Facebook and Twitter. Go and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.